experience at Crayon Academy?
Okay, so on February 2nd, approximately 9 a.m., my 23-month-old granddaughter was open hand slapped and abused by her teacher in her classroom.
And you said she's how old?
23 months.
Only 3 months. So this is almost 2 years old. And this is just like every child, children will be children. There's no denying it because that's all part of nature.
And she's somewhat nonverbal as well.
She's nonverbal. Okay. So now, can you describe the teacher that slapped her?
Her teacher is white.
Okay. How you would say this teacher is?
I would say she's in her mid to late 40s.
Okay. So now, explain the situation all the way through the way you explained it to me yesterday that led to that slap.
Okay, so it must have been cleanup time, and she was trying to retrieve a crayon from my granddaughter, and my granddaughter snatched it back from her. Once she snatched it back, she grabbed her and twisted her arms and yanked her towards her. In defense, my granddaughter nipped her on the arm, like bite her on the arm, like get off me, and she turned around and open hand slapped her across the face.
Shalom, it's I.S.U.P.K Bardat. Next to me, I got Ford.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you 3 questions. First question is, are you familiar with what happened in Ohio with the 2-year-old black girl getting slapped by a white teacher?
I heard about it.
How you feel about that?
Well, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's anytime a situation happens where a teacher and a minor or a child is into a confrontation, that's not a good situation at all.
Okay. All right, good answer. Next question. Do you feel like as black people, should we go back to having just black schools only, by black teachers, just do our own thing since our kids ain't really safe going to other schools? Because there's been several instances of that happening, probably 5 times this year already, going nationwide.
I won't necessarily say that might be the best thing. I think there's always options.
Okay.
And putting the kids in the best situation possible, I think that's the best answer. Whether it be having all black schools or all white schools or integrated schools, we have to find the best thing for kids in general if possible. Then we got to get back to having education being the primary goal of educating kids all on the same level. Once we do that, then we have to worry about having a black or white school. We should have schools. We should just be able to educate kids, not educate white kids or educate black kids. We should just educate children. So if that has to happen, and research shows that it's best, then we do it.
See, there you go.
Then we say, well, we try to improve what we have going on.
And that's what I was going to get to. Research shows that black kids tend to learn better and be more, in tune with school when they're getting taught by a teacher who look just like them. So that's why I say the question. My last question is, do you feel like it was best for us to integrate with, schools coming together, colleges coming together? Was it best for us to do that, or should have did our own thing at first, just kept rocking that way?
I think with evolution, things are good for evolution, but the thing about it is being able to take advantage of it in the right manner.
Right.
Like, for example, for cell phones. Cell phones are good for communication, but now with social media, guess what? It gets access to so much and so worldwide to now I think kids have access to too many things.
Right.
So I think sometimes integrating is good, but then when it goes to a different levels, that's what it can make it bad. So you have predominantly white schools and you have HBCUs. I think both of them are fitting. Both of them work for both for certain reasons. It's all about what you pick and what's best for you at the time.
Right. Man, thank you for the interview, man.
All right, bro.
Rod Montgomery.
Robert?
Rod.
All right, Rod. I got 3 questions. My first question is, are you familiar with what happened in Ohio when a 2-year-old black girl got slapped by her white teacher? You familiar with that?
I didn't see it. So.
You didn't see it? Okay, how you feel about it, me telling you?
I feel like it's pretty messed up.
And we ain't got no justice for it or anything like we always don't do. So my second question is, how do you feel about us coming back to just, only black-only daycares, black-only schools, colleges, and et cetera? How you feel about that?
I don't even really know how to feel about it, bro. I really
What you
don't.
mean? Like, elaborate.
I really don't know how
You
to
don't
feel.
know?
Nah. You got me on the spot, bro.
Got you on the spot, man. Just I just asked that because it seemed like us just integrating when everybody else is like it ain't helping us.
Right.
In order for us to be on top and get ahead, we got to come back to our own. We can't do that when integration. So my last question is, was it even smart for us to integrate with everybody else, joining our schools together, joining our businesses together, etc.? Was that a smart thing for us to do?
I didn't think that was a smart thing to do.
Why?
Still was basically the same thing. I felt like our own kind should support more black businesses as of self, But I don't feel like we should integrate it.
All right, man. Thank you for the interview. I got 3 questions for you. First question is, are you familiar with what happened in Ohio when a 2-year-old black girl was slapped by a white teacher?
No.
You know? How you feel about that?
I would have smacked her back.
You smacked her back?
Yeah.
Right. Second question is, how do you feel about us just going back to just black daycares only, black schools only, black high schools, colleges? How you feel about that?
I feel like they shouldn't change. Everybody should be able to be around white people, and white people should be around black people. So I feel like nobody should be caring about what color people are.
All right, well, I asked you that because we going through the same thing, even with integrating with them. We was by ourselves. We wasn't going through none of that stuff. So my last question is, do you think it was smart for us to integrate with them from the jump, or should just stay by ourselves how we was in our own schools, own communities, businesses, and etc.?
If it goes back to being how it was, I feel like we shouldn't have been around them in the first place.
Amber.
Amber?
Yeah.
I got 3 questions for you, all right? My first question is, are you familiar with what happened in Ohio when a 2-year-old black girl got slapped by a white teacher?
A 2-year-old white girl? I'm not.
2-year-old black girl. She got
2-year-old
slapped.
black girl.
Yeah, slapped by a white teacher.
I ain't know that.
Yeah, okay. How you feel about that?
That's crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, it's like it goes on nowadays. Like, you know what I'm saying? They get away with it. So.
Okay. So how you feel about us having our own black daycares, having our own black high schools, colleges, black everything? That's it.
I feel like that's what we should do. They've been working together, so we should do the same.
Okay, good answer. My last question is, do you feel like it was smart for us to integrate with everybody else back then? Like black schools coming together with white schools and we should just stay by ourselves?
I mean, we got to grow, but at the same time, they did so much to us. I feel like maybe we should have took time, but,
Leslie.
Leslie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got 3 questions. My first question is, are you familiar with what happened in Ohio when a 2-year-old black girl got slapped by a white teacher?
No.
That's what happened in Ohio, and they ain't got no justice for it or anything. So my second question, how do you feel about that? About her getting slapped.
Very bothered about it.
Okay, so my second question is, do you think it's, how do you feel about us going back to this black daycares, black elementary schools, all black colleges, and etc.? How you feel about that?
I think it's time.
It's time?
I think it's time.
Why you feel that way?
Because every race deal with their own kind, but us. Blacks the only one don't deal with their own race.
You 100% right.
Business, everything.
You 100% right. And my last question is, do you think it was smart for us to integrate with all these other people, like as far as our schools coming together, the black schools, the white schools, or should have had our own schools,
Most definitely.
own everything?
Most definitely. We used to have our own schools, everything. We used to have that. And it's time to bring that
I
back.
got Jeff. All right, Jeff, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. My first question is, are you familiar with what happened in Ohio when a 2-year-old black girl was slapped by her white teacher in a daycare? Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, how you feel about that, me telling you?
Well, any child being abused is wrong,
Right.
no matter what. So
Right.
that's horrible.
And the reason I say that is because it's
You're a
been...
teacher.
Right. My next question is, how you feel about, us black people going back to just, our black-only daycares, black-only schools, high schools, and establishments? How you feel about that?
I think that's a great idea, especially in a lot of areas where, 70% of black young men, children are being born in single-parent homes.
Right.
So as a community, we need to step up and especially take care of black children in the community, no matter what. But one of the biggest issues today, because of lack of parenting, we definitely need more responsibility in the black community to step up and take care of our young black youth.
Right. Agree with you 100%. My last question is, do you think it was smart for us to integrate you know, basically putting our schools together with other nations of people, you know, black school with the white school, you know, high schools joining together, colleges joining together, or we should have just stayed by ourselves and should just build together within?
Well, separation actually creates fear, you know. So a matter of when we integrate, whether it be Asian or Indian or African American or white or whatever, it binds cultures together. Because if you did research shows that prior to 1637, whites, blacks, Indians, everybody was together. But what happened was after when we started to revolt as a people against the British colonies, that's when once we almost took over as a people, united, that's when the British came back over and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to separate the people. That's where actually, if you were to consider anything white privilege, that's when they took away blacks' rights to vote. And actually, blacks were pretty prominent before that. But then again, I think it's the British colonies still kind of got a finger on things. I mean, I think even though we're America, I think honestly, Europeans still have a foothold in America, and that's where a lot of the divide comes from. So it's really like at this level of us and white people and Asian people or anyone else, I feel that it is the European stronghold which has always attempted to, to dominate people as a whole and create that division.
For even taking the time to just sit here and tell me about this thing that's happened to you and your family, that should have not taken place like that. And in the communities, there should have been other leaders should have been more proactive about doing anything for you. We're gonna do that for you. We'll be more proactive. Our way of doing it is just taking this information along with other information you're about to provide, and we're gonna push it on social media. I'm gonna give you a copy of this so that way you can also push it on social media, okay? I want you to know the Israelite School University Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA, we're gonna make sure that where Black Lives Matter fails at this time, because they should have been quickly proactive. You're talking about a child here. It should have been quicker.
A 23-month-old nonverbal child.